All right, let's dive into this fascinating topic and unpack it together, shall we? So imagine this. You're standing in a classroom, the air thick with the hum of chatter and the occasional scrape of a chair. You've got a group of adolescent boys, some are eager, some are indifferent. And then there's a smaller subset with CU traits. That's callous-unemotional traits. For anyone unfamiliar, these are the kids who, well, they're not just a bit cheeky or rebellious. They're operating on a completely different wavelength when it comes to emotions, authority, and social cues. Why does this matter? Because these traits, the lack of empathy, the indifference to punishment, the seeming detachment, they're not just challenging for teachers, they're like a puzzle wrapped in a riddle, begging us to figure out how to reach them, how to teach them, and most importantly, how to help them. Now let's get to the heart of the study. Here's the thing. CU traits are significantly linked to punishment insensitivity. Yup, even when you account for other factors like conduct problems, autism symptoms, or hyperactivity. It's like their brains are wired to shrug off the usual consequences that might make another student think twice. But, and this is a big but, there's no significant relationship between CU traits and reward sensitivity. So if you're thinking, oh, maybe we just need to dangle a carrot instead of the stick, it's not that simple. Rewards don't always land either. And yet, teachers did note that rewards tied to status or dominance, you know, the kind that might boost their social standing, sometimes had a bit of an impact. Interesting, right? This aligns beautifully with Blair's 1995 model. It's all about how CU traits impair the processing of others' distress. They're not picking up on those emotional cues that most of us would instinctively respond to. This leads to reduced associative learning, which basically means the connection between action and consequence doesn't quite click for them. Hence, the low punishment sensitivity. It's also a nod to the DSM-5 specifier for conduct disorder with limited prosocial emotions. So clinically speaking, this research is spot on. But let's not get carried away without acknowledging the methodological strengths here. The mixed methods approach combining quantitative data, those lovely numbers and stats, with qualitative insights, teachers' real-world experiences, is a stroke of genius. Why? Because it gives us a richer, more nuanced picture. It's not just about what the data says, it's about how it plays out in real classrooms. Plus, the multi-informant design, getting input from both teachers and students, adds another layer of reliability. And let's not forget, they controlled for confounding variables like autism symptoms and hyperactivity. That's like cleaning your glasses before trying to read. It sharpens the focus, but here's where it gets a bit sticky. The limitations: a sample size of 39 boys. That's like trying to judge a buffet based on a single plate. It's just not enough to generalize broadly, and the all-male single school sample, well, that raises questions about gender and cultural bias. What about girls? What about different school environments? Oh, and the reward sensitivity scale, let's just say an alpha of 0.64 doesn't exactly scream reliable. And here's the kicker. The teacher interviews weren't tied to specific students. So while their insights are valuable, there's a risk they might be painting with broad strokes based on their frustrations with difficult students. Now let's talk inconsistencies. This study contradicts some earlier findings like O'Brien and Frick's 1996 work, suggesting CU traits are linked to heightened reward sensitivity. So what's going on here? Could it be that not all rewards are created equal? Teachers did mention that rewards tied to status or dominance had some impact. Maybe it's not about the presence of a reward, but the type of reward, social versus tangible versus competitive. There's a lot more to unpack here. And what about the implications for practice? Here's the hard truth. Standard classroom behavior strategies often fall flat with high CU youth. The usual time out or gold star systems, they're not enough. What does work, albeit to a limited extent, is relationship building, consistent praise and structure. But, and this is a big one, these strategies can take a toll on teachers. Burnout is real, especially when you're dealing with students who seem impervious to your best efforts. So, where do we go from here? Future research directions are clear. We need larger, more diverse samples. We need to explore observational methods to reduce bias because, let's face it, teacher perceptions can be influenced by their own experiences and frustrations. And we need longitudinal studies to see the long-term effects of these strategies. Oh, and can we please dive deeper into the types of rewards? There's so much untapped potential there. In conclusion, and here's the big takeaway, this study doesn't just shine a light on the challenges of working with high CU students. It also highlights the resilience and creativity of teachers trying to support them. It's a call to action for more targeted training, better resources, and a deeper understanding of what makes these students tick. So what's the bottom line? High CU traits demand high CU strategies. It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. And with the right research, the right tools, and a whole lot of empathy, we can make a difference. After all, isn't that what education is all about?